Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, learners. Today we are going to be painting, type of watercolor painting. But if you don't have watercolors, how am I going to do the project? Well, that's what you're going to find out, because we're going to be painting without any paints. So let's get our supplies. What you're going to need: copy paper, washable markers. Crayola is what I'm using, but any type of marker that they sell on the back to school aisle is most likely water-based, which will work. A Sharpie, tiny little cup of water, and a paintbrush. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can also use a Q-tip. So once you got your supplies, go ahead and set up your workstation and let's begin. Here in front of me I have my paper, and instead of using a pencil, I'm going to be using a Sharpie. A Sharpie because it's permanent, and when I use the water with my markers, the Sharpie will not start bleeding. So I'm going to draw my picture, and then we're going to start painting with markers. Finished my picture, and I decided to draw flowers, but you don't have to draw flowers. You can draw anything you want. Cartoon characters, a landscape, that is really all up to you. So now over here I have my markers that I want to use to color. These markers, like I said earlier, are water-based. So and that's just regular household or school markers. All those are most likely water-based. So we're going to be doing some painting similar to watercolor. Watercolor likes to bleed, meaning that the colors will start running together and making new colors. So if your colors start bleeding once we get to adding the water, that's okay. So all I want to do is just go and do a quick outline using the colors that I want those areas to be. The stems I want green, so I'm just outlining those shapes. Notice how I'm not coloring it in all the way, because if you color it in all the way, we're going to get rid of that watercolor painterly effect. I finished my drawing, and now I'm ready to move on to adding my water. Since our paper is thin, the water will seep through onto the surface that you're working on. So make sure you have either a newspaper down or something that can get a little bit of water on it. Second, when you're doing this, make sure to leave your paper in the same exact place. Don't pick it up and put it back down, because the water has seeped through. That could mean that other little spots of your paper, when you put it back down, might accidentally get wet. So I'm going to take a tiny little cup of water, take my paintbrush, dip it in just a little bit, go up and down, kind of like I'm stamping the paper, to move around the colors. And I had put pink and red into this petal because I want the colors to mix. If you see the water coming out from your outline, that's totally fine. This is the beauty of watercolor. Watercolor kind of has a mind of its own. So I'm going to dip it back into the water. Now I'm going to do the center. Tap, 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 tap. I'm going to do my next petal over here. Tap, tap, tap. Right now the paper is super dark because it's wet, but once it dries, it'll clear back up and you'll have a beautiful watercolor painting. I have finished my painting, and I'm going to let it sit for about 30 to 45 minutes, let it dry, and then I'll get back to you on the result. While we wait for it to dry, I found something that is super cool about doing this method. See, right now it's kind of dark, not super colorful, but if you pick it up and put it against a light source, like a window or light. Look at those colors. Look how vibrant they get. Beautiful.